fertile soil has been taken out from the farms and transmitted to other areas in the country, maybe to the desert and some to the sea. The drought is another crucial problem, but the main significant problems that we are facing, especially Yemen in the country context of war, is the governance as well as the conflict. And the conflict here is not only the internal conflict, but even the external conflicts. Any other external conflict, it has a major impact on Yemen. For example, what is going on Ukraine and Russia, it has a major problems in Yemen, because Yemen used to import 50% of wheat from Ukraine and Russia. And Yemen imports almost 90% of food basic commodities from outside. There's no self-sustain, there's no balance. The balance of payment is already distorted due to the collapse of the economy, due to the crisis. Now, the intended national determined contributions are very clear, and they've been set up since years ago, even before the crisis. And that the first one is energy sector, because any economic development or economic growth, it required energy, and it's crucial. But we cannot continue sustaining the current conventional energy production. There is no way. It's very expensive, it's spoiling, and the already deteriorated environmental setting in the country. Currently, we are working on the renewable energy mix investment plan that is going to be inaugurated by end of this year or earlier next year, for which Yemen has a potential to generate up to 32 gigawatts of renewable energy mixed, which is crucial. Now, with this conventional type of energy generation, we are generating less than 500 megawatts for consumption, which is insufficient. The other sectors are transportation, industry, agriculture, wash, and so forth. Therefore, the adaptive measures, they're going to look into the coastal zones, because we do have a long coastal zone of almost 200 kilometers, 2,200 kilometers. And to maintain it, that one, because the fishery sector used to be the third sector that contribute to the GDP before the crisis. And we need to maintain that one. And we know that the global warming, most of the fish, they might migrate to other areas. Therefore, how to have an adaptive interventions that will allow to maintain the quality of livelihood in the fishery sector in Yemen. Maybe by introducing the fish farms and so forth and so on. The agriculture is the same thing. We need to have an adaptive agriculture system, including the livestock, health and water. As I mentioned, they are very crucial to this one. The strategic interventions or strategic level interventions, we are not just going to limit ourselves at UNDP mainstreaming, but we are working with the government of Yemen currently within the context of the crisis to formulate an interim recovery and development framework. And this interim recovery development framework is going to take into consideration the adaptation measures of the consequences of the climate change. They are going to take into consideration HDP, which is humanitarian development and political nexus. They are going to take into consideration sub-national focus. Why I'm mentioning the sub-national focus? Because the state has collapsed, and the only way to sustain and to ensure resilience is to increase and strengthening the resilience of the communities themselves. Because that one can, in the future, be the guide for the government to formulate reliable and convenient strategies and policies that match with the needs of the people. And this is how we see it. It's very complex, is to be said, but very complicated to be done. The gender is going to be crucial, because it's a 50% of our society. We cannot say that we can work with one eye open and one eye closed. We cannot see the whole vision. Therefore, we need to be very open-minded. We need to make sure that the perception of the women are brought to the level that can contribute effectively and efficiently to the advancement and to minimize the consequences of the climate change, as far as we are talking here on the impact of the climate change. I'll stop there so that I can give more floor for questions after the presentation from my other colleagues. Over to you.
Thank you, Abdul Saif. It's really, we're going to discuss about this presentation just to know about Yemen risk regarding the climate change, and also what is have been done for the INDCs, and what also UNDP vision to help in Yemen. Just to give the floor for the second speaker, Sabir. Do you would like to share the presentation from your side? Please go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, I'll share the presentation from my side.
Yeah. Just Abir, she is really our hard worker, especially in issue regarding to the social and gender and GBP. She really work hard, even with the implementing partner, to ensure that is gender and climate change in the heart of their activities. So you can go to the second slide, Abir, and just save the time. Sorry for that. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I'm Abir. Hi everyone. I'm Abir Al-Baridi, Gender and Social Safeguard Officer for emergency for Yemen Emergency Crisis Response Projects. And today we will be representing the project achievements in terms of supporting Yemeni women to improve livelihoods and climate change adaptations. As mentioned previously by Mr. Abdul, that the sectors mostly affected by the climate change in Yemen are agriculture and water. So this is the main sectors that our projects actually focused on. As we all know, Yemen vulnerables are mostly the people who have been hit hardly by the climate change in terms of water scarcity, desertification, and flooding, which actually damaged agriculture lands. Almost 2/3 of Yemeni people, as mentioned previously, heavily depends on agriculture and livestock for their livelihoods. More than 75% of the population is actually living in rural areas, which have been hardly affected by the climate change. Yemen Emergency Response Project started its activities in the year 2016 and last until the year 2020, and it has continued with another different name, which is Social Protection and Emergency Crisis Response Project. Both of these projects actually have been working to implement long-term solutions to respond to the anticipated effects of the climate change impact. These projects actually are funded by World Bank and implemented through Social Fund for Development and Public Work projects. Both of these projects actually help the community to have their water harvesting systems and installation of water storage containers, decentralized water harvesting systems, restoration and rehabilitation of agriculture and traces to improve food security and reduce the pressure. Actually, these projects has brought employment opportunities to different areas in Yemen and support to build resilience and mitigate the impact of the crisis and climate-related shocks through an increased production and achieve economic development growth. To address the impact of climate change, more than 124 social and environmental management plans have been prepared. These plans have been prepared to assess the risks in terms of climate and control and minimize and put mitigation measures to face such challenges in terms of the climate change. These plans have been prepared in participation with the community and of course with a special focus on women participation as members of the community and community committee members. The project actually achieves many results in terms of responding to climate change and to help communities to adapt with climate change in terms of agriculture and water. As more than 432 home food gardens have been supported and more than 24,000 hectares of farmland have been rehabilitated and protected against flooding. There are many success stories achieved in this regard. Haila, she is 60 years old. She has been growing grapes for more than 50 years, but due to the climate change, she has faced many troubles, and she struggled a lot in terms of the heavy rainfall and fruit flies. The project actually helped to rehabilitate the land and to increase the food production, to increase the production of her agricultural land. Also, it has provided trellises to ensure exposure to sunlight and good airflow to enhance the type of agricultural production and income. Also, Katiba, she is 43 years old. She is a farmer for a long time, but unfortunately, because of shortage in terms of rain flows, and even when the rain comes, it is not sufficient for the agricultural production. Actually, the project helped with the reservoirs, with providing her with water reservoirs to help her elevate her suffering and increase the production of her agricultural land. The key messages in relation to the climate change is to enhance household and community adaptation and resilience to the impact of climate change on food security. Actually, the project played a huge effort to meet the nationally determined contribution in terms of building the capacities, mobilize financial resources, and to have modern techniques to help people to increase their agricultural production and to have sufficient water to face the problems and the issues of climate change. In terms of the lesson learned, of course, we have still need to build national and community capacities to respond even in a more sophisticated manner, and to enhance innovative and smart technology approach, and mobilize more financial resources for more innovative, for more gender innovative approaches to help communities to sustain and face the climate change's risks. This is all from my side, and thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Abir. Please stay with us until all the speakers, because there will be some question also from audience. We are going to give the floor for the second speakers, Muhammad Salam. He's our specialist in renewable energy, and also he leads the rural electrifications, and he helped a lot in this project. So I will give the floor for Muhammad. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, hi everyone, good morning. Thank you for having me here today. Just give me a moment, I will share the screen.
Muhammad, can you put in the PowerPoint mode? Yes, and go to the second slide, please. Yeah, please.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you again. I'm Muhammad Salam, the Renewable Energy Specialist for AIR Project. AIR Project is one of the UNDP Yemen projects, and it is funded by EU and CEDA. So today I'm going to share some success stories and practice regarding to women engagement in climate transition process or in green transition process. So as all of you know that climate change impacts affects both men and women, but in different ways. But especially women, they are more likely to find an income generation opportunity or to make a living. But believing in the critical role of women for effective climate change, and the critical role for the power of integrating gender equality while supporting community resilience, the project and UNDP Yemen focused on involvement of women through creating an entry point for women in the renewable energy market, for involving women in the value chain of renewable energy market, and also there is an ongoing efforts to involving women in the decision making through a new established national working group for renewable energy. Looking at the status of Yemen electricity sector, and as also mentioned by Abdo, the available generation capacity is only around 400 to 500 megawatts, while the actual demand, according to the latest development plan, was estimating that or forecasting that around 3,500 megawatt to be needed by 2020. But today we are in 2022. You can imagine what is the difference between the actual demand and the available generation capacity. Also, before the ongoing war, the consumption per capita here in Yemen was around 250 kilowatt hour per capita, while in most Middle East countries and North Africa, it was around 2,900 kilowatt. It's only around 7 to 8% of energy consumption by these countries. So one of the stories or one of the activities implemented by Area Project was the distributed generation unit beyond the national grid, where a group of women they are receiving technical and business training, and also they are providing with capital expenditures to cover the cost of equipment for the group. And we started working at distribution generation unit at the micro level. The capacity of this micro group is around 20 kVA.
Mohammed, can you go faster because we start late? We have very limited time. Sorry for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do my best. So one of the microgrid groups was led by Yemen. This was awarded the Global Ashton Award in 2020, and Iman, the group leader, was selected as the BBC list of 100 most influential women for 2020. So I'll say we started from microgrid level, then we moved to mini-grid level, and we also involved a new renewable energy sources for energy generation. So the project also established the mini-grid, solar and wind hybrid mini-grid. It was managed by community management. Capacity was around 250 kVA, and also doing the selling the electricity through power purchase agreement, and that was helping the community by reducing the localized cost of energy by almost 50%. So the selling modality for mini-grid is different from the one at the microgrid level. They are linking selling the electricity for telecommunication companies. Telecommunication companies in turn they will work on strengthening the coverage level of telecommunication services at that area, because people at that area they are suffering from the low coverage level. So this will help also enhance women access to communication services and eliminate digital illiteracy. So also the project is working also to enhance or create skilled human resources at the local level by transferring knowledge and technology to local or community clinicians. The project has provided technical training for almost 1,000 to 200 community technicians, and also established 1,000 energy excellence. Another dimension of the project was to support the local economy by supporting the local assembly of lighting and smokeless cooking stoves. This assembly centers was provided with the technical and business training, and also the CD grants. And they have developed their MOUs and partnership with private sector companies to provide them with raw materials. The last slide about success stories in the project is related to the supporting women also to enhance the energy access at production groups. This Asra is leading the Water User Association. Is a group of 10 women. They need a source of water, and the project has provided them also with solar solutions. Finally, the contribution of the project. Finally, the project has contributed to the nationally determined contribution by different capacities in each sector, and has also contributed to the reduction of greenhouse gases by around 50,000 tons. So you can see the megawatt and kilowatt per each different sectors. The recommendation in the short and medium terms is related to the securing funds for new and programs for new national.
Please mute Rehab.
We have, yeah. So it's related to because in Yemen there is necessary to establish the supporting schemes, the regulations and and the required regulation to creating enabling investment environment, and also facilitating the Yemen access to international climate finance, and much work on the public-private partnership. It's also there is a huge need to promote the energy efficiency concept, the productive use of energy, and the applications for the productive use and productive use of energy. This is all from my thank you.
Thank you, Muhammad. Really, it's really what he's doing is what you're seeing in the ground is more than what you see in our presentation. Because of second of the time, I'm sorry for that, but I'm going for a very interesting presentation. Speakers is here. So Mrs. Asia Al-Mashriqi, she's going to speak in Arabic, and she's from a really great woman and advocate and leading a lot of NGOs to helping the youth and the local communities, especially about solar. And I don't want to talk a lot, but she can go through us.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صباحكم خير. آسيا المشرقي، رئيس مؤسسة التنمية المستدامة، إحدى مؤسسات المجتمع المدني المحلية في اليمن.
Just to introduce you, she's Asia Abdullah Al-Mashriqi. She's the head of Sustainable Development Foundation in Yemen, one of the prominent NGOs working very closely with UNDP and other international organizations.
طوال 5 سنوات كان عندنا رؤية واضحة في العمل مع شركائنا من UNDP والشركاء الآخرين حول دمج أنشطة التمكين الاقتصادي، دعم ومناصرة مشاركة النساء، إدخال مبادئ البيئة والحفاظ على البيئة في كثير من المشاريع الخاصة بالمؤسسة.
Within the period of last 5 years, the institutions has a strategy and framework to address issues related to gender, environmental safeguarding, economic growth, and so forth, for all the projects that are implemented by funding coming through UNDP or other international organizations in Yemen.
هذه الرؤية الواضحة كانت تحت مبدأ كيف ممكن بناء صمود المجتمعات في ظل وضع طارئ مثل اليمن.
طبعا this vision, it has a major milestones how to build the resilience of the Yemeni beneficiaries or the recipient of these assistance in Yemen.
والعمل وفق أهداف التنمية المستدامة.
And within the context of sustainable development goals.
من خلال مجموعة من الأنشطة
through number of interventions and activities.
في كثير من المشاريع التنموية والإغاثية.
Through all the humanitarian and development related interventions.
من أهمها استصلاح الأراضي الزراعية.
The most important is the reclaiming of agricultural land.
نعرف جيدا أن اليمن بلد زراعية.
We well know that Yemen is an agriculture country which depends upon the agriculture sector.
خلالها تم العمل على استصلاح كثير من الأراضي الزراعية.
Within this context, the number of agricultural land they are rehabilitated and reclaimed.
بمساحة 8 كيلومتر.
At the range of almost 8 kilometers.
في مناطق مهددة بالمجاعة كحجة والحديدة.
In the areas that they are facing famine in Hudaida and Hajjah governorates.
عدد الأسر الذي تحفزت أكثر من 15,000 أسرة و900 مستفيد.
Number of household that benefited is almost 15,000 household, and just to elaborate more, each household the average is almost 6 to 7 person.
كان التعليم هو اللبنة الأساسية في وضع مثل اليمن تحاصره الحروب.
This was important, especially where Yemen is within the crisis context.
فأكثر من 33 مدرسة تم تزويدها بمنظومات متكاملة للطاقة الشمسية.
We almost supported more than 30 schools with renewable energy solar panels.
أكثر من 40,000 طالب.
More than 40,000 students.
هؤلاء الطلاب تم إلحاقهم بالمدارس مجددا.
We were able to reintegrate those children back to school
كانت
despite the crisis context.
كانت المناطق والوضع الصحي كارثي في مناطق التماس.
In most of the front lines, the health situation was extremely bad.
عدم وجود الكهرباء يعني كان سبب رئيسي في عدم حصول الأطفال على اللقاح.
Due to lack of electricity, because the crisis, all major plants have been damaged. Therefore, vaccine for children could not be provided.
والمراكز الصحية من أن تقوم بعملها.
And primary health cares could not be able to function.
مع شركائنا في UNDP تم تقديم المنظومات الطاقة الشمسية والثلاجات اللقاح.
Within our partnership with UNDP, we were able to provide renewable energy, solars, and also vaccine refrigerators using solar.
في وضع الحروب يعتبر اللعب مسألة ثانوية.
Which was most important in order to maintain the functionality and provision of health services to the children.
ولكن رؤية المؤسسة عملت على تأهيل أكثر من 4 حدائق كبيرة وعامة.
And we were able also to rehabilitate most of the public gardens.
وأكثر من 540 بستان في مناطق متضررة جدا وقرى.
And almost 540 small agricultural farms for household production.
9,000 متر، ما يقارب 9,000 متر تم استصلاحها والبستنة فيها.
Almost 9,000 meters, which is almost 9 kilometers.
حصولهم على مواد غذائية بسيطة.
With provision of food basket.
كان من أهم أنشطة تمكين النساء في المؤسسة ومع شركائنا محطات توليد الطاقة البديلة وصديقات البيئة.
The most important and crucial intervention was supporting gender in terms of generating renewable and friendly clean environment power.
كقصة إيمان وقصة 10 شباب موجودين في مناطق بني قيس في الحديدة.
And this is referring to the story of Iman, which is in front of us here, where she has also received Ashton prize in 2020.
هذه القصص كان لها أثر كبير في تعزيز دور النساء في المجتمع اليمني.
It was a major incentive to Yemenis women to incentivize their contribution to development in the country.
سلطت الضوء على إبراز أهمية البيئة والطاقة البديلة في مجتمعات نائية مثل اليمن.
Which is the reflection of importance of clean energy in the Yemeni society.
من المهم أن نشرك الجيل الصاعد في الثقافة البيئية والاستفادة من المواد الطبيعية.
It's very important and crucial to engage the coming generation or the current generation in the clean and renewable energy solutions.
ولأن المؤسسة تعمل في مجال النازحين واللاجئين ولديها الكثير من مراكز الأطفال، كان من الضروري العمل على إعادة التدوير في كثير من المنتجات التي ينتجها الأطفال والمهارات الحياتية.
It was very important for the institution of Sustainable Development Foundation to reintegrate the society.
يلتحق بالمراكز هذه كل أسبوع متوسط 500 طفل ومتوسط 1500 طفل في 3 محافظات.
Especially when SDF is working also on the refugees and IDPs, internal displaced persons. Therefore, it's crucial to see that how we support the recovery in Yemen and building the resilience of the people.
إدارة النفايات. منطقة الحديدة من أشد المناطق تضرراً في اليمن من الحرب ومن الأضرار البيئية الكبيرة.
Hudaida is the most affected city in terms of the impact of war as well as the impact on environmental deterioration.
خلال 3 سنوات ركزت المؤسسة مع UNDP على رفع المخلفات وإزالتها بما يتجاوز 30,000 طن خلال هذا الفترة.
Due to the collapse of public services, this SDF has been working very hand to hand with UNDP and has removed almost solid waste, which is over 30,000
هذه المخلفات
tons.
هذه المخلفات كانت من الأسباب الرئيسية لانتشار الكوليرا، الكوفيد، الأمراض المصاحبة للأطفال.
And this wastage, because it was not removed, and it was the causes of many diseases, including dengue fever and cholera.
كان لابد من إيجاد حل مثالي، وهذا الحل هو العمل على عمل محطات أو آلات لتدوير المخلفات.
And this is, it brought us on how we can be innovative in terms of introducing recycling of this waste.
هذه المحطات نسعى من خلالها للحفاظ على البيئة، ومن خلالها للاستفادة في عملية تحويل هذه المخلفات إلى طاقة بديلة في ظل عدم وجود كهرباء في اليمن، في ظل عدم وجود غاز. أيضا تمكين المجتمعات من
In fact, it's a very interesting story. This wastage has been used to produce energy, okay? And it has a multiple benefits. And later on we can come and explain it further.
أخيرا، ضمن رؤية استراتيجية واضحة للمؤسسة وفق أهداف التنمية المستدامة ووفق العالم، نسعى جميعا أن يكون المناخ هو الهدف النبيل لكل العالم، ونحن شركاء في هذا العالم.
And she's ending by saying that with the current interventions, we think that we'll be able to contribute to the safeguarding of the environment in Yemen. Over.
I feel sorry for stopping her, because I know she has really interesting even to share with you a lot of experience. But just a matter of the time, sorry for that. But I will go ahead to our colleague Wafa. Wafa is our youth focal point for UNDP for more than 10 years, to helping us. She's coordinating the youth leadership program. She's going to share with us really a successful story. So Wafa, please be brief and go ahead for the presentation with the second slide, please.
Innovating for solutions and mitigation to the climate change crisis in Yemen. We all know that young people represent about 1/3 of the total population in the MENA, and about 70%, which is 20 million, of the Yemeni population is youth under the age of 30. Youth is the main engine of the future development and holds the key of the country's future prosperity. Investing in their capacities and enlarging their opportunities can reap huge social and economic benefits for their country. About climate change in Yemen, my colleagues Abir and Mr. Abdu and others speak about it. Yemen is facing devastating environmental issues such as water scarcity, land desertification, waste management, and so on. Recent assessments show a climate change impact on the water resources and agriculture productivity, increase the emission from the energy and transportation, and the impact of the health sector. And in Yemen, with the current conflict context and a bad economic situation, Yemen is facing more complicated and climate change challenges. Youth Leadership Program is a regional program being implemented by UNDP Yemen at Yemen level, and the project aims to empower change makers and support the young women and men to design their impactful, innovative solution to contribute to the achievement of the SDGs and reduce the climate change impact. The project also aims to raise the awareness of the climate change on youth, and it supports the environmental friendly practices. The project focuses on measuring the environmental impact of the projects to reduce the climate change risk. The program has targeted 337 young women and men, and most of them, they had their innovative project targeting climate change risks. I'll give you some of success stories of Yemeni youth
that have turned their innovative ideas into action, and they are working in their project. We have Nadal Mashdari. Her project is working on biogas production. The project is to produce biogas, which is a clean alternative energy, and organic fertilizers from recycled food waste. The innovative part about Nada project is that she created a small electronic device that works to measure the temperature, and this will help to increase the production of the biogas and the organic fertilizer. And the gas pressure density, which can be monitored through a mobile application. The second success story of Tahani Swedi. She is the founder of a successful Rescrap, is an online platform that works to improve the culture of recycling in Yemen through enabling users to resell, exchange, and give away goods in a good way, not dispose it in a harm way to the environment. The main innovation comes from the deep belief of Tahani of the importance of keeping the environment clean using the technology. The third one is Omar Badokh. Omar Badokh is one of our YLP alumni. He is the founder of the Bio Treasure, which is a startup work to create a solution for 3 problems, including the lack of access to affordable energy in Yemen, and the health risks associated with the open fire cooking within the home, the dumping of the organic waste that contributed to the methane emissions, and the potential of spread cholera and other diseases. Omar began rolling out small-scale biogas plants designed to enable the rapid decomposition of the organic waste, ensure maximum biogas production, and transmit affordable, efficient energy to rural parts of Yemen. Today, Omar continues his mission to have greener Yemen through biogas treasure project with 3 units currently operation, and he's planning to expand to 20 units across Yemen. Finally, Amina. Amina is also one of our YLP alumni. Her innovative ideas aims to reduce the amount of single-use plastic water bottles thrown away by integrating them into assessment to build bricks. Her project aims to get rid of the plastic in an eco-friendly way, reduce the amount of used cement, which is considered as ecologically harmful substance. Now, Amina, with UNDP, is working on a pilot experiment with to build the plastic bricks under one of our big projects funded by World Bank, which is the Emergency Social Protection Enhancement and COVID-19 Response Project. Amina is today with us in the panel, and she will speak about her project further in the next slide and in the next presentation. Finally, the lesson learned and recommendation that we noticed that a lot of participants in the youth have an excellent ideas, innovative, to contribute to the achievement of the SDGs and the climate change, to reduce the climate change impact and do climate change adaptation. So scaling up this kind of programs will support more youth, and we will have more innovative ideas that can support the SDGs and the climate change. Raising the awareness of the climate change adaptation among children and youth will ensure a better future, and it become a must and need to be done urgently. Financial support is highly needed to ensure the sustainability of the youth innovative ideas and projects. The promotion of the youth innovative ideas will improve the capacity to address climate change impacts and enhance the development solutions. Finally, we believe that small innovative ideas can make big difference and change. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you. Just I will give just 1 minute to Amina. She was with us. 1 minute, please. Just tell us what the result of testing recycling the plastic to be bricks. 1 minute, please. Yeah. Go ahead, please.
Amina, your voice is.
Hello, Amina. We can't see your screen. Hello, Amina.
You are muted, Amina.
Yeah. Okay, we just tested this experiment now 2 months ago. And Amina, she wants to show us because it was really great to see that it's bricks made it by plastics. And this was engineering and a lot of expert is really as a part of this testing. UNDP supports this. Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The May said we already made dozens of experiments just to make the standards that the bricks are using here in Yemen, and finally we make it to the standards by the residence and solidity of the bricks that we are using here, and we are aiming from this project to focus on gender and help women, the marginalized women, to be a part of this project. And we are now making a pilot with the Emergency Social Protection Enhanced Project to build some lanterns of this bricks. This will help us not just to target the environment, also to make a positive change in sanitary and health section. So we are targeting the gender, the environment, and the health SDG. That's all because we don't have enough time. So the presentation will be with you if you want any further information.
Okay, thank you, Amina. Thank you. I just would like to explain that is our three presenters from Sana'a. They're supposed to come, but because of the restriction to come here, they're not joining us. But we give now the floor if you have any question, and sorry for the technical problem we have in the beginning of this session. So please, if you have any question, and also you can also engage with Abdu and with Asia to also share more of her experience. So if you have further question, you go ahead, please.
Yes, thank you for this good presentation, and I'm wondering about this adaptive and resilience for our brother in Yemen. We, in my opinion, that we will not have even the daily work you can do, but you have making a lot of things with this instability, this conflict. And I want to know, first, I think if there is a will, there is a way, as you express in your presentations. I want to know how you, we know that all these things are need a lot of coordination with different stakeholders, with different cooperation. How you deal with this and you make this achievements in this type of conflict and instability. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I am Huya Mahmoud Abdullah from Sudan. I'm a focal point for Climate Technology Center and Network. First of all, thank you, Dr. Abdu. My question, yes, INDC is very important. I hope in the next years to see revised to NDC. My question, does Yemen have technology need assessment and technology action plan? Because this is a very important document and policy. Also, I encourage Yemen to do the gender technology policy, because also is very important. Miss Asia, I will speak by Arabic. شكرا جزيلا. حقيقة عرض جميل جدا، واتمنى انه المنظمة تمشي لقدام واكتر واكتر. فمنظمتكم قريبة للمجتمعات المحلية، فأنا كنت بتمنى أشوف الاهتمام بالتقنيات التقليدية. فأنا يعني وجهة نظري إنه يكون في حصر التقنيات المحلية ويحصل لها تطوير. فديها بتكون يعني دائما في مجتمعات ما بتتقبل التقنيات الجديدة، فلما أديهم يعني أعمل لهم تطوير للتقنيات القديمة فبيكون أسهل التعامل معها وبتكون النتيجة دائما أفضل. شكرا جزيلا لكل other participants. Thank you.
Yes, we have another two questions. Yeah.
Thank you. My question is to Mrs. Asial Mashiki from SDF. Thank you for a very interesting presentation. I wanted to know, with new technologies such as the solar mini grids, what challenges did you face in introducing these technologies, and some key challenges, and how did you overcome them in introducing them, encouraging people to adopt them? And look.
Thank you for the presentations from Sana'a and from here, and thank you for experiments that done through the presentation. According to the adaptation in Yemen, in water, especially in water, we know that during the rainy seasons, the indigenous knowledge at the ancient time capture water, the rainy water, over their homes, down large holes called sagaya. You know that sagaya? Sagaya in Yemen. This is the indigenous knowledge at the ancient time. Capture or harvest water, the rain water, over their homes, down holes called sagaya. This is adaptation through the indigenous knowledge at the ancient time. In other words, as we know that during the Union 3, there is a resolution for the plastic pollution, and here there is experiment mix the cement with plastic. This is solve the plastic pollution which the world running after to protect marines and environment for the plastic pollution. Thank you.
لا بالعربي، ممكن تتكلمي بالعربي مش مشكلة.
السلام عليكم. طبعا أنا إيمان الحملي. أشكر مؤسسة الSDF واليو UNDP أولا على إتاحة الفرصة لنا بالمشاركة في المجتمع كامرأة قيادية في المجتمع لي ولشركاتي. ثانيا أتمنى أن يعني سؤالي للأستاذ محمد سلام، هل ممكن نتوقع في عام 2023 توجد هناك مشاريع أخرى في الطاقة الشمسية سولار أو في غيرها من المشاريع لتغير المناخ؟
Iman, she just appreciates UNDP support, especially for renewable energy. And the question for Mohammed Salam, according what is the plan will be in next year, according to continuous support for the renewable energy. Yeah. Just because I'm going to give all the speakers, maybe who's here 2 minutes and who's online, sorry for that, 1 minute, okay? Yeah, go ahead.
But there are so many questions and 2 minutes is not sufficient.
I know you, Abdul.
Okay, I'll start with the coordination. Okay, we are working in vacuum. There is no state. Yemen, there is no state for the last 8 years. Okay, the economy has collapsed. Public institutions fragmented. Okay, we have ministry in the south, ministry in the north. In the north, it's a critical and it's a very messy. In the south, too many players. You have STC, you have IRG. STC, it's Al-Intiqali, which they are supported by few governments in the region. IRG, which is internationally recognized government, it's been supposed to be supported, but it's been undermined, and so forth and so forth. Therefore, there are a lot of divisions in the country. We, as UNDP, we decided from the day of the crisis, we're gonna work at the sub-national level. we work with the people of Yemen. Our strategy from the day one, it was formulated in such a way that we are supporting the people of Yemen to overcome the consequences of the war. There is no signing even of the project document with the government. We ignore it. Okay? And that is the way how we've survived it, and that's the way how we've been doing it. Now, on the second question with regard to the adaptation of technology and assessment and so forth, they used to be in the past, but the country context now has changed. And we need to do another mapping. Okay? We had a mapping on 2015. If you see it compare with the current situation, it's totally different world. Therefore, we have to do it, and we need to be very flexible. These strategies and assessment, they are not critics. It's not a stone. It has to be very flexible for us to change it with the context on the ground. And this is how we are doing it, very live documents. That's why in the last 2 years, we came up with studies called Impact of War on Development, on Human Development, and the Way Forward. These 3 reports, if you see it, they provide in-depth knowledge of what went wrong and what we have lost and what are the opportunities that we could not be able to touch it. And we reached to a very simple conclusion that the only way is integrated approach, meaning that women, if we integrated women, for example, they will contribute 30% to the GDP. You can see 30% to the GDP is a lot of resources and money for Yemen, which is begging for $4 to $5 billion a year for humanitarian support and so forth. Now, on the third, I'll try to be very precisely, on the third person, talking about terraces, Sakaya, Karifs, in Socotra they call it Karifs. These are still existing. In my own village, I'm coming from Qabbaita, Irene, Qabbaita, we still have, I have it in my homeland. I have it, Sakaya. Okay? But the consequences of the climate change has been greater compared to the previous 30, 40 years. Okay? Previous 30, 40 years, the quality of rain and the quantity of rain which was used to come was more reasonable to the needs of the consumption. Now, we have 2 dimensions of problems. One, the huge population growth. Population growth in Yemen is 3.2%. It's huge. We're growing like rats. Okay? And the infrastructures are not there to support the communities. Therefore, you have scarcity. And we have one major problem. We are growing khat. Khat consume 40% of groundwater. It's a cash crop. People, they are benefiting money, but who are consuming is just a disaster for them because it's not food, it's nothing. It is just stimulator. You see? Therefore, they need to do a trade-off, either to grow khat and die without water, or to grow coffee and sustain the water and return Yemen to be one of the major producers of coffee. I think I'll stop there. Over.
Yeah, I think you are going for the second option. Don't give a negative, picture.
Yeah, there is one thing with regard to Yemen. Yemen, they have abandoned the traces, Mudarrajat Zira'iyya. This is the major watershed management in the world and has been there for thousands of years. Okay? If they go back to that one, it is super. Why? Yemen is also a tectonic. Okay? Any slowdown of water flowing from upstream to the downstream, it's increase the recharging of the groundwater. Okay? Now we are going to more than 1,000 meters to bring the water, which was saved hundreds of millions years ago. Over.
Okay, thank you, Abdu. So Abdu is our resource person, by the way. This is why we give him more time. Asia, give you, please, can you speak a little bit?
السؤال ايش من التكنولوجيا اللي استخدمتها للمجتمعات المحليه حتى هذا المجال؟
اولا بالنسبه للتكنولوجيا احنا بنشتغل على نقطتين. النقطه الاولى هي التكنولوجيات القديمه، الاشياء القديمه، مثلا المواد الطبيعيه الذي بتدار بها الصناعات اليدوية البسيطة، فبنحاول نستفيد منها من خلال المواد البلاستيكية، المواد المستخدمة. فهذه بنحاول قدر الإمكان إن احنا نوعي المجتمع وندربهم على استخدامها، وبالذات في النساء، مع النساء ومع الأطفال.
It's in short words, revival of traditions and old technologies that they are using as an entry point.
مثلا إطارات السيارات في تأهيل الحدائق، تم تأهيل حديقتين عامتين من إطارات السيارات.
Okay, like the waste of the tires of the cars, they've been, instead of throwing them, they are very damaging the environment. They've been used to put in the gardens, public gardens, as well as public parks, and they're becoming very beautiful. It's like beautification of the old stuff.
بالنسبة للشباب في المناطق الذي بيتم تركيب الآلة، بيتم استخدامهم وتمكينهم وتدريبهم على تجميع المخلفات البلاستيكية، وهذه بتدر عليهم دخل، وهذا معروف عالميا. ومن خلالها نعمل لهم تجمعات ويتم إدارتها وبيعها، وبتتحول لهذه الطاقة أو لمصانع أخرى موجودة في اليمن، مشاريع متناهية الصغر، ومن خلالها المجتمع بدأ يحس بالفائدة لتجميع هذه، وهذا بيساعد على النظافة.
There is no waste. Everything it has a cost and it has a benefit. Collection of plastics and garbage, people they get money. Therefore, it's a job creation for youth. The garbage itself has been used to produce renewable clean energy, and then that energy has been sold. It's income. Therefore, there's no waste. Therefore, if the society take that changing the mind setting and improve their culture understanding, really we can have a very clean world in the few coming years. Over.
أخيرا في مجال الزراعة، كثير من النساء الأراضي الزراعية تعرضت للتصحر في البيوت، وأيضا بسبب المياه، عدم وجود أمطار. في كثير من النساء تم توعيتهن وإعطائهن بعض البذور، وبالذات البذور المحاصيل الزراعية البسيطة كالنعناع، كالسلطة، كالطماط. فعملنا على إيجاد العديد من البساتين حول البيوت.
Okay. For example, the other intervention is very crucial in the agriculture sector. We have seen that most of the farmland have been transformed to desertification due to the drought and so forth and so forth. But we try to revive some of the land near to the household settings, and we provided them with good quality of seeds for them to produce house-consumed vegetables and so forth, like lady's finger, egg, plant egg, tomato, onions, potatoes, and so forth. Yeah.
Okay, I just going to give floor for our speaker. Please, half of minutes. I'm sorry. Start for Mohammed.
Yeah. Thank you, hi Yemen, and thank you. I'm very happy that you could make it and participated in the side events. So regarding your question, actually yes, and area now is in the third phase of the project. We are planning to implement like 100 microgrid, and also we have around 2 to 3 mini grid. 100 microgrid, it will be the capacity the same as your business model. And the mini grid will be, one of them will be solar, pure solar, and another one will be hybrid solar and mini grid. So in our plan, yes, we are expanding the work in this area. So
okay.
I will talk now in Arabic so to respond to you, if it's possible.
اوكي just as will continue ان شاء الله السنه الجايه حيواصلوا نفس البرنامج حيكون موجود يعني. اوكي I give for وفاء. Abir, can you go ahead?
Yes, in terms of water, actually a huge effort has been done by the project, focusing mostly on water scarcity, as we all know that women are suffering a lot, and women actually in Yemen have to go for long distance fetching for water. So we have implemented many projects in terms of water to secure water and to help women elevate her suffering in terms of time and effort. Also, providing such kind of water interventions helped to girls to go back to school. I've mentioned previously, we have different types of water interventions. Individual water for homes, for houses, سقاية, as mentioned. Also as a big reservoirs for the community as a whole. And these all have been identified in consultations with the community from the lower level, with the participation, of course, of women and men, identifying the community.
Okay, thank you, Abir. Wafa, can you say something quick? I think maybe she has so. Yeah?
Yes. Regarding to the climate change and youth, working with youth and innovative projects show us how Yemen youth is interested in the climate change. We are impressed every single year. We are implementing the project and see lots of youth being interested to implement innovative ideas and projects related to climate change adaptation and impact. This is very promising, and I think if we work more in the awareness of the climate change among the children, the youth, and the communities, we will have a great innovative solutions that can contribute to the climate change impact in the future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I just would like to give maybe a quick response about INDCs and NDCs. We, as mentioned before, we're working as bottom up and even with NGOs, and also now collaborating with government, especially in the environment, because environment, I think it is a way that it can bring peace. And it's less politicized, like to have political issues. This is one of the things now we are working on it, and I think now we really, with this all the youth you have seen, best practice, and with also involving women. I would say that Yemen is really resilient, very resilient, and this is really we're going to bring change, making the innovation and technology. With this is really going to help them to reduce the risk of climate change and even disaster reduction. And I will end here, sorry, because I think we're beyond our time, like more than 30 minutes, but thank you very much. You can still engage with our in-person speakers here to for further questions. Thank you very much, and thank you for your patience.
شكرا.